Becky Lynch fans need to accept this, and today, we're going to break it down in detail. For months, WWE fans have been anxiously waiting for Becky Lynch's grand return to the company. Everyone has been speculating, hoping, and maybe even assuming that her return was just around the corner. Initially, many thought she would return at the WWE Raw Netflix premiere on January 6, but as we now know, that didn't happen. It's always tough to accept, but it's time to face the facts. The good news is that Becky Lynch is still very much under contract with WWE, and there's no indication that she is leaving the company. She is taking a break right now, working on a variety of other projects, most notably in Hollywood, and while she's taking time away from the ring, her future in WWE is still open. However, as much as we may want to see Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 41, it's looking more and more likely that she won't return in time for the grandest stage of them all. As much as I wanted to hold on to the hope that she would be back for this year's WrestleMania, I think it's time we accept that Becky will not be competing in the show. And while that might be disappointing to some of you, I think we need to understand why and look at the bigger picture. Let's dive into the details of what Becky is up to right now, why she's not coming back for WrestleMania, and what the future holds for her in WWE. Let's take a closer look at Becky Lynch's time away from WWE. As we all know, Becky Lynch has had a remarkable career in WWE. She skyrocketed to superstardom over the past few years, especially with her rise as the man. She became the first woman to headline WrestleMania in 2019, and her popularity reached heights few could have predicted. But after a historic run, Becky Lynch took a step back from the ring in May of 2024. Becky's hiatus wasn't due to a lack of desire to wrestle or some personal falling out with the company. It was a choice she made to focus on her personal life and take care of herself. In 2024, she gave birth to her child, and she took time off for maternity leave, which is totally understandable. Taking care of family and stepping back from the grind of the WWE schedule is important for any performer, and Becky Lynch's decision to focus on her personal life was the right one. But after maternity leave, the next step in Becky's journey was somewhat unexpected. She entered contract discussions with WWE, and for a brief time, there were rumors swirling about whether she would re-sign or whether she was looking for a different path. These discussions were private and somewhat behind the scenes, but in the end, Becky did re-sign with WWE. However, her return has been delayed multiple times for reasons that go beyond wrestling. Since stepping away from WWE, Becky has been working on various projects outside of the wrestling world. While most of us hoped she'd return soon, especially with the looming WrestleMania 41, Becky Lynch has been focused on her career outside of WWE. This is not a slight against her love for the wrestling business. Rather, it's a reflection of her understanding that her career as a WWE superstar cannot last forever. Her decision to step into Hollywood and explore acting opportunities shows that Becky is thinking about the long term. And let's not forget, WWE has always been a springboard for larger careers, whether it's in movies, TV, or other media, and Becky Lynch is embracing this. As we inch closer to WrestleMania 41, WWE is busy putting together a stellar card for the biggest show of the year. We already know that Rhea Ripley is in a prominent position, and she has a title match set up. We're also looking at the big showdown between Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton for the Women's Championship. There's no doubt that WWE has big plans for the women's division this year. But what about Becky Lynch? Where does she fit into all of this? The truth is, right now, there's little to no buzz about Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. In fact, it's almost as if she's being excluded from the conversation entirely. We're all waiting for news, waiting for the moment when WWE says, Becky Lynch will be making her return at WrestleMania, but it simply hasn't happened. WWE has been giving us little to no hints that she'll be back, and at this point, it's looking more and more likely that Becky won't be back in time for WrestleMania 41. What does this mean for her future in WWE? The reality is, WWE is gearing up for an event that will feature some of the most exciting matches, and they've got plenty of other stars to work with. The women's division is packed with talent right now, and the likes of Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Charlotte Flair are firmly positioned as top players in the company. WWE is also giving a significant amount of attention to rising stars like Tiffany Stratton and others, which leaves Becky Lynch in an awkward spot in terms of timing. As much as it pains me to admit it, it seems highly unlikely that Becky Lynch will be involved in any matches at WrestleMania this year. It's just too late in the game for her to be added to the card. Yes, there's always the possibility of a surprise appearance, but the reality is that WWE has moved forward with other storylines for their marquee event, and as fans, we need to understand that sometimes, the timing just doesn't work out the way we hope. Now, let's dive into what Seth Rollins has said about Becky Lynch's future. Recently, Seth appeared on Insight with Chris Van Vliet, and he shared some eye-opening comments about Becky's current endeavors and her future in both WWE and Hollywood. Seth has always been incredibly supportive of Becky's career, and his insights shed light on what she's been up to. Seth Rollins revealed that Becky Lynch is currently working on several major Hollywood projects, and this has kept her incredibly busy. He mentioned that Becky has been working on her acting career, and she's been traveling between locations to shoot different projects. One major project she's involved with is Star Trek, where she plays a significant role, and this alone speaks to the weight of her move into acting. Seth also mentioned that there's another top-secret project that Becky is working on, but he couldn't reveal the details. While many of us are eager to see Becky back in the ring, Seth's comments paint a picture of someone who is fully immersed in Hollywood right now. It's clear that Becky is not sitting idle during her time away from WWE. She's making real moves in her career outside of wrestling, and it's also clear that her acting career has become a major focus for her. Seth even went as far as to say that Becky is better at acting than he is, which is a huge compliment and speaks to her potential in the entertainment industry. What does this mean for her return to WWE? Seth is optimistic about Becky's future in wrestling, saying that he believes she will return at some point, but he doesn't know when. So, while her future in WWE is not over, we have to accept that it won't happen immediately. It's highly likely that Becky's focus right now is on cementing her acting career, and that means that her return to WWE will likely happen after WrestleMania and could even be later in 2025 or beyond. Becky Lynch's transition from wrestling to acting isn't exactly a new concept. Many WWE stars have made this leap over the years, with varying levels of success. Let's take a moment to look at how other WWE superstars have handled this shift and what we can learn from their experiences. First, we have The Rock, who is perhaps the most famous example of a wrestler successfully transitioning into Hollywood. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson made his first big splash in Hollywood after leaving WWE, and since then, he's become one of the most bankable stars in the industry. His success has opened the door for other wrestlers, like John Cena and Batista, to follow suit. Cena has appeared in a variety of films, from action-packed roles to more comedic parts, and he's been widely successful in doing so. Batista has also carved out a successful career in Hollywood, particularly with his role in the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. These examples show that it's entirely possible for WWE stars to successfully transition into Hollywood. But let's be clear, this isn't a simple shift. Hollywood requires time, effort, and a lot of work behind the scenes, and it often means taking breaks from the WWE schedule. It's about expanding your career into a new realm, and that's exactly what Becky Lynch is doing. She's investing time in acting, building a career that could last well beyond her time in WWE. This transition doesn't diminish her wrestling career in any way. Rather, it shows that Becky is a multifaceted talent, capable of thriving in different fields. For WWE, it's a great thing because they now have someone with the potential to bridge the gap between the wrestling world and Hollywood in a very real way. And when Becky does return to the ring, her star power will be even greater, thanks to her success in Hollywood. When it comes to career longevity, WWE is a brutal environment for any wrestler. The travel schedule, the physical toll, and the mental strain of performing week after week can take a toll on even the toughest superstars. And as we've seen with many of WWE's top stars, the longevity of a wrestling career isn't as long as one might think, especially for female talent. While WWE has made significant strides in pushing women's wrestling to the forefront and giving female wrestlers more opportunities, the truth is that women in WWE tend to have shorter careers. This is something that WWE has been aware of for some time, and it's one of the reasons why Becky Lynch's decision to pursue acting makes so much sense. As much as she loves wrestling, there's a ceiling to how long a wrestler can perform at the top level, especially when you factor in the travel, the training, and the wear and tear on the body. For Becky, transitioning to acting while still being involved in WWE in some capacity is a smart move. It allows her to diversify her career and set herself up for success after her wrestling days are done. And while some might look at this and think that Becky is leaving wrestling behind, I don't see it that way. She's simply being proactive about her future. ensuring that she has multiple avenues to pursue once her wrestling career winds down. So, what does all of this mean for Becky Lynch's return to WWE? It's clear that Becky Lynch is not going to be back for WrestleMania 41. She's currently working on some major Hollywood projects that are taking up a significant portion of her time, and while we may not see her in the ring at WrestleMania this year, I'm confident that she'll return to WWE at the right time, whether it's later in 2025 or beyond. Becky Lynch will make her comeback, and when she does, it will be a monumental event. In the meantime, let's support Becky in her Hollywood endeavors and understand that her future in WWE is not over. It's simply a matter of timing. What do you think about Becky Lynch's hiatus and her transition to Hollywood? Are you hoping to see her back in WWE soon? Or do you think she's on the right path? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.